we're going to have it either way. I mean, let's say Phil doesn't see his shadow. What do we have, 5.5 weeks more? It's not going to matter. But for those of you wondering, Phil did see his shadow. The actual regulated Phil saw his shadow, which means we have 6 more weeks of this nonsense. And last year I didn't even care because last year was pretty mild. I'm like, I can handle 6 more weeks of this. This has been pretty brutal.
Well, now we're looking forward to more snow. So
we are?
Probably. If I
mean
guess.
That's what the forecast, yeah.
I'm just assuming since how this winter has been going, and I'm guessing there's more snow coming.
I don't like it one bit. Let's get to, we could talk more about Groundhog Day. First of all, one of the greatest movies, in my opinion, ever made about an off holiday. A holiday I never cared about before. I honestly never gave 2 blanks about Groundhog Day. Ever. But the movie came out, and it is such a solid, top to bottom, well-executed film that now I kind of pay attention to Groundhog Day. But it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's such a great movie. I rewatched it not 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah. I always say I'm going to have a Groundhog Day party and put the movie on just to give us something to do in late January, early February. But by the time it gets here, I'm like, oh, yeah, Groundhog Day. And I can't throw a party together that quickly. But I always thought it would be a fun thing to have like an annual party for. Without further ado, though, folks, it is Monday. We are back in the saddle here. Let's get to the Nite Lite question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
All right. In honor of actor Linus Roach. Do you know who that is, Conrad?
I don't.
He is the assistant DA on Law & Order right now. He's been in a lot of cool stuff. He was in one of the Batmans. He's not, I don't think he's on the show right now. I think he was a previous assistant DA under Sam Waterston. But his name is Linus Roach, very good actor. In honor of Linus Roach's birthday, which that probably has never been said before. If you had to share the name of an animated character, who would it be? If you had to share the name of a cartoon character, animated favorite from over the course of history, TV, movies, comic strips, who would it be? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can also text us on the app, or if you're watching the radio on the stream, drop us a stream comment. Just get a hold of us either way, folks. Be part of the fun. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say Bugs. But not Bugs Bunny. I don't want to go with the whole thing. Just Bugs. Because Bugs is cool. There have been a few gangsters named Bugs, like Bugs Moran, Bugsy Siegel. So I think Bugs is kind of cool. And it was between that and Homer.
Okay.
But I always pick Homer. Homer's my favorite of all time. But Bugs Bunny was right up there. I grew up watching Bugs Bunny. So I'm going to say Bugs without the bunny. What about you?
That's great. When I saw the question, I was like, all right, what's the first one that just comes to my brain? And for some reason it was Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Okay. Then you also share a name with Chris Casper.
Yeah.
Who could pick that same answer.
Yeah, Casper, it's fantastic.
You're in good company.
Fantastic animated character.
So there you go, folks. Let us know what cartoon character or animated character, if you had to, you would like to share their name. You could say Foghorn Leghorn, Nancy from the comic strip, Andy Cap. I would say the Far Side, but there were different characters all the time. Charlie Brown, Buzz Lightyear. You got so many to choose from. Let us know what you think. And we've got some good social media responses. We'll get to those as well. Coming up tonight on, news, sports, and weather is right around the corner, folks. About 14 minutes away. We will keep you informed here at Civic Media, as we always do. And then after news, sports, and weather, I mentioned Black History Month before. Ty Williams will join us. He is one of the programmers at Milwaukee Film, and they've got a really cool program for Black History Month. Some great events. And we're going to talk to him about the movies because there's a word I've never heard there before, and Ty will educate us because it sounds really cool. But we've had Ty on the show before. He'll tell us what's up with Milwaukee Film and their 2 beautiful venues coming up this month, Black History Month. And then in the second hour, actor Dan Davies will be here. Dan has been here before. He is a very well-known actor here in Northeast Wisconsin. But Conrad, did you know Dan is like one of the biggest Nollywood stars in the world?
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Do you know what that means?
That's in
Africa.
Yes.
Okay, so Dan, I don't know much about Nollywood, I'll be honest. I know Hollywood, a little bit of Bollywood. That's becoming more of a thing. But Nollywood, I don't know. But Dan is huge there. So we'll talk to Dan. He's going to be here in studio, and he's also going to tell us about this really cool reboot that was shot based on a movie that was shot 50 years ago in Wisconsin in the Northwoods, kitty corner to where I live, sort of, called The Giant Spider Invasion. It is a cult classic that was made by Bill Rebane 50 years ago. Dan and some other guys here from Northeast Wisconsin got together with Bill, and they did a reboot. They cut some new scenes, and they put it in the movie. Really big undertaking. Tedious work, I am sure. That is either nearing completion or done. Dan will be here to tell us about what's up with the Giant Spider Invasion reboot. And then in hour number 3, Thomas Campbell will be here. Thomas is a renowned playwright and also teaches theater at UWGB. So he's going to be in studio. We'll talk to Thomas about a couple upcoming shows they have and a little bit about his what he's been up to and what he does, because it's fascinating work. He teaches many different classes, and I'm excited to ask him about all of them. So that is your show, folks. And our question, once again, is what cartoon character, if you had to share a name with a cartoon character, who would it be? I say Bugs, short for Bugs Bunny. Conrad said
Casper the Friendly
Casper
Ghost.
the Friendly Ghost. Not to be confused. What if Chris Casper didn't even pick Casper? What if he went completely off book?
No. Well,
If
it's
you're
different
listening,
spelling.
Casper.
It's a different spelling.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. Let us know, Chris, if you're out there listening. All right, we're coming back, and we're going to tell you who our Olympian of the night is, who is from Wisconsin. This is Pete Schwaba, and Nite Lite News is coming up in 10 minutes on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Someone's living for her love.
Welcome back. Happy Groundhog's Day, everybody. Coincides with Monday, maybe makes Monday a little less sullen. Actually, it makes it worse because we got 6 more weeks of winter. But what are you going to do? Great to have you here, folks. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. I am Pete Schwaba. And there's so much going on, Conrad. I can't even, we've got all this. All right, we've got our Olympian we've got to get to. We've got news, sports, and weather coming up in just 7 minutes. Did you watch the Grammys last night?
Not the full thing. I watched, I don't know. It just kept breaking so much for ads that I just lost interest
Right.
at some point. I watched a little bit of it. I watched to see if Kendrick Lamar would win some stuff. And
He won. He's the most decorated Grammy winner ever now. He's
Yeah.
got 27 to Jay-Z's 24. I didn't realize that was a thing. But he won 5 last night, Kendrick Lamar, last year's Super Bowl halftime performer. So that was kind of cool. Lady Gaga won one.
yeah. No.
Billie Eilish and Bad Bunny won
Yeah.
one. He won the first best album, and it's the first. It's not best Spanish speaking album. It's best album. The first ever win for someone who did it in Spanish. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I did not watch the broadcast. I will admit I was following it on my phone and writing tidbits about it. But and Trevor Noah hosted, and I like Trevor Noah. Without further ado, though, let's get to our Olympian of the night, folks. We've got several great athletes from Wisconsin competing in this year's Winter Games in Italy. And tonight's Olympic athlete from Wisconsin hails from Appleton, Wisconsin. It's Paul Schomer. Conrad, you picked this out today. You picked Paul.
Yeah,
I did the last 2. You got Paul. This is a great one.
He has a really great story. And he was planning to retire, but he's still qualified for this year, so he's going to Milan.
He competed in the 2022 games in Beijing, and I think the whole team took 7th. I'm not really sure how they do it with the biathlon. And do they separate it between men and women, or is it a team? Do you know that?
That I'm not sure about.
Yeah, because I know that our Deirdre Irwin took 2nd too when she was our Olympian of the week last week on Thursday night. But Schomer, this is interesting. He grew up in Appleton, and he was a wrestler. But at the age of 15, he lost his dad in a serious, horrible car accident. And he did not want to keep wrestling because his dad was a wrestler. So this is where these sports like the Olympics really tug at your heartstrings and get you motivated to cheer for people when you learn about their life. And it doesn't always have to be tragedy. Like Deirdre Irwin had a great story, too, when Stormy Kromer made the hats for her. And the team, there's just cool stuff. And her mom used to wear a cheese head so that Deirdre could pick her out in a crowd. It just personalizes the athlete so much better. And now I know when I'm watching what I'll be cheering for. Anyway, Paul Schomer gave up wrestling and picked up cross-country skiing because his brother started a club at their high school. And then Schomer ended up skiing in college, got connected with a guy who steered him to the biathlon. I don't think I could do the biathlon.
I don't think I could either.
What do you think would be the most difficult sport in the Winter Olympics?
I'm going to say a luge because I'm scared of that.
Just laying on another dude, you mean?
Well, it's like the single one, the single luge, just going that fast.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But when there's 2 guys on it, it seems worse. It seems like there's more room for error.
Yeah, and SNL did a great skit on Saturday about the luge.
Did they?
It's hilarious. It was about, a skier and a snowboarder and then a person who does the luge. And they're like, we love this sport so much. And the luge person's like, I'm scared.
That's great. But anyway, Paul's college coach was a former biathlete, got him into that. And he made the national team in 2017, I believe, for the first time. Mm-hmm. And then he competed in 2022. He said he never wanted to be an Olympian. This is Paul Schomer. He wanted to wrestle. But it's crazy the different route your life takes at various points. In his case, it was a tragic accident where he lost his father. But I'm fascinated by how people end up where they end up. And Paul Schomer said, wanted to be a wrestler. Now he's going for the gold in the 2026 Olympics in Italy. Good luck, Paul Schomer. Good luck, all of our Olympians. We'll feature another Olympian tomorrow. And so it's Groundhog Day. I don't know what to do. I mean, how do you celebrate? I can't watch that same movie every year. It's not like Christmas where you can divide it up.
I could watch it every year, I think.
I probably seen it 10 times.
Yeah.
It came out in 92, I think, or 93. So I am on that's 32 years. I'm on a tri-yearly. I'll watch it
Okay.
on average. We've got Dave on the stream answers tonight's question of the night, which is in honor of actor Linus Roach, who has a really cool name. If you had to share the name of an animated character, who would it be? Dave says Bugs Bunny. I said Bugs. I'm there with you halfway, Dave. And Dave says The Land of the Lost, the old one. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Character? He just wants to live there, maybe.
Just the whole cast.
He would share names with the whole cast? That seems not feasible. Christy from, wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm reading the right text here. Okay. Christy from McConnell, she's in Eau Claire, says, Shira. Who's that? Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Shera. Please give us more deets, Christy.
It's she's a princess of power.
Ooh. I can see why Christy picked that. I've never met a princess, Christy. I've never even gotten a text from a princess, so thank you for that.
The sister of He-Man.
Oh, that's a great one. Awesome. Tom from Monona in the 608 says, my friends have called me Bender for 40 years, so they named a cartoon character after me. Love the show. Thanks. Tom, love you, buddy. That's a great text. Bender is the guy from Futurama. Yeah, love it. That's awesome. All right, we will read your texts throughout the course of the show, folks. Let us know what cartoon name you'd want if you had to share a name with a cartoon character like Linus Roach does. All right, we are coming back. News, sports, and weather is next, and we're here with Ty Williams from Milwaukee Film talking Black History Month and some amazing programming they have going on this February. We're coming right back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Hi, Ty, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. Just wanted to jump in here, just test your audio here quick.
Okay, cool. Do you need video from me at all or only audio?
That's up to you. If you want to do video, that's fine. But audio's works as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Great to have you with me. Happy Monday. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Was it Groundhog's Day or Groundhog Day? I say Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Singular, right? You don't plural
Yeah,
that.
there's not multiple groundhogs that. Well, actually, I don't know. Are there?
Yeah. This is interesting. Al from the 262 says, you guys mentioned the number one movie this weekend, Send Help. I did, which I heard is great, but a lot of people may be unaware of the movie that was an extremely close number two. It's not listed on every listing because it's an independent film, but made over $18 million. A sci-fi Iron Lung, directed by and starring YouTube personality, I don't know how to say it. Markiplier. Okay. That's a great text, Al, and you're right. I did say that in the beats where I break down the box office every week. I do mention that Iron Lung made like $2.5 million less than Send Help, but it was on 400 less screens, and I think its per screen average was more than Send Help. So that is a juggernaut. I don't know who that guy is, but he wrote it, directed, stars in it, and I think he raised all of his own money or found the money to make it. $3 million budget. 18 million bucks first week. This guy's on his way. That's pretty impressive. Thank you for a very savvy text, Al, when it comes to the box office. Al in the 262. All right, without further ado, folks, it is my pleasure to welcome back to Nite Lite one of the programmers of Milwaukee Film, an outstanding organization in Milwaukee that focuses and celebrates independent film and community. That's why we love Milwaukee Film. Joining me now over the stream is Mr. Ty Williams. Welcome back, Ty.
Hello, thank you so much for having me back again.
Hey, it's great to have you, and it's good to talk to you again. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Thank you, sir. I said at the top of the show, there's not much to look for outside of Black History Month, Groundhog Day, Valentine's Day. February can pretty much suck it. There's not a lot going on in February.
Well, that's why I'm here to talk about all the cool films that are going on in February.
That is a great response. And my fear would be you were going to say, actually, Pete, I love February. It's my favorite month. But all right. So if you had to share a name, Ty, with a cartoon character, who would you pick?
Oh, my first immediate choice is Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, just because sometimes I bounce off the walls or I have way too much energy in me and I feel pretty closely connected to him more than all the other Winnie the Pooh characters.
Did you grow up watching Winnie the Pooh?
I did. It used to come on. I'm pretty sure there was a TV show, right? I had a lot of the books, the children's story books, but I remember very vaguely there being a TV show that I tuned into.
That was one of those shows I always wanted my kids, like when they say, can we watch this or that? I was always like, please pick Winnie the Pooh. I think that theme song by Carly Simon is just fantastic. The characters are so likable. That's a great response. And Tigger is probably the funniest character too, just because he's so goofy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's jump in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ty, before we talk about some of these great programs you guys have with Milwaukee Film this month. Tell us a little bit about your background.
For sure, yeah. I have been with Milwaukee Film for about 6 years now, and I started off as a associate, just scooping popcorn, and now at the 6th year I am here doing programming. This is my 2nd year doing programming, so I talked with Pete last year about the last Black History Month program I had, and so, slowly seeing me rise my way up and select more good movies to hopefully, enjoy with the community.
Was that when you started out, like when you took the job scooping popcorn, were you like, I just need a gig, some extra money? Or did you start doing that with the eye of moving up the ladder at Milwaukee Film?
Yeah, I definitely say this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I went to UWM for film school, and I used to work at the Union Cinema there as a manager. And so I think I just came in the summer one day randomly and was like, this is a very nice theater. And I just said, hey, please give me a job at some point. And then a month later, they were like, hey, come back and see if you want to work here. And then it started from there.
Very cool. Well, that's a great story, and I'm glad you're in the position you're in now. So tell us about some of the programs you have this month for Black History Month. I read, I was looking at your website earlier, and this is a word I was not familiar with. Tell me if I'm saying it right. Afrofuturism.
Yes, you are saying it absolutely right.
I love the word. Tell us about it, please. Well, the program is called Afrofuturism, Fates Beyond Fiction. Great title. But tell us about Afrofuturism, and then let's talk about some of the films.
Yeah, totally. So Afrofuturism is a art movement that can be described as a response to sort of the trials and tribulations that many African Americans have dealt with in the United States. And so their response to that was to sort of imagine a better future. And that could have been through sound, through moving image, through photography. And so I chose films, since, programming at the theater, to have many different examples of films that fit this category. So all the films that we're going to talk about are things that are sci-fi-ish in nature, or at least fictional, and have something to do with real-world conditions in America, or at least talk about that concept.
So, okay. So tell us, are these films we've all seen, or are these more independent films? Like, I know you guys focus on independent films, but what are some Afrofuturistic movies or stars of those movies we might be familiar with?
Yeah, absolutely. So I tried to fill this year with things that people have seen, as well as a few features and shorts or short documentaries that, maybe you might not have heard of, that have good context to what Afrofuturism is. But we have Sorry to Bother You playing on the 12th, which is a hit movie from 2018 by Boots Riley, which was very popular. So that's very much on people's minds, maybe due for a rewatch. We also have Nope playing on February 19th, which is Jordan Peele's latest horror movie. Recent enough to still be in memory, but still a very apt concept of Afrofuturism, a sci-fi film by a Black man that talks about the conditions of the film industry and just what it means to be Black in this industry as well. So, there's lots of very notable examples that you can draw back from like a year or a few ago that, resonate with everybody.
Absolutely. My guest is Ty Williams. He is one of the programmers. Started as a popcorn scooper, folks. This is a great story. Worked his way up to programmer, and now he is behind the programming this month for Black History Month in regard to Milwaukee Film. So tell us about, you've got something going on the 7th too, Ty, at the Oriental. Tell us about those films.
Yeah, so on the 7th, we're going to have an Afrofuturism double feature. It's going to feature 2 films. The first one is called The Last Angel of History, which is a documentary, and the second is called Hello Rain. So Last Angel of History is a documentary that sort of just briefly goes through what Afrofuturism is. Like you said, if you just haven't really run into this word before and you want to know what exactly qualifies as Afrofuturistic, then I'd highly recommend going to the screening on the 7th. Last Angel is the documentary that will detail the movement, and then Hello Rain is a direct example of what an Afrofuturist short film can look like. So wanted to provide a lot of information as well as an example for people to sort of take away, if they take away anything, just what Afrofuturism is and what an example of it is.
I love it. It says in Hello Rain, a scientist witch through an alchemical combination of juju and technology creates wigs which grant she and her friends supernatural powers. But when their powers grow uncontrollable, she must stop them by any means. And this is a short film. It's 30 minutes long. That sounds intense.
Yeah, it's jam-packed. It's really, really intense. Well, I wouldn't say intense, but just very interesting, very different from what you would normally see from a short film.
Yeah. And then, so is The Last Angel of History, you said that was kind of an introduction to Afrofuturism. Is it a narrative or a documentary?
It's a full-blown documentary detailing how the movement has sort of grown within the country and across the seas, as well as it giving examples for what sort of things you may have interacted with that are part of the movement. So a big example is techno music from Detroit is a example of a genre that started purely from an Afrofuturist angle. And, when you dance to it, you're not necessarily thinking Afrofuturism, but it is a thing that is still there through a remnant of this art movement.
Now, if people don't live in Milwaukee or can't get down there for these films, are these films available to stream, like Hello Rain or, The Last Angel of History or the one you mentioned on the 12th? Can we see those other places? Obviously, Nope is out there, but what about these other films?
Yeah, so if you just aren't around or you're unable to make it to the theaters, we have films like Nope, Blade, Space is the Place, and Sorry to Bother You. These are all films that are available either through streaming or Space is the Place, I believe, is free on YouTube. Blade, Disney owns that, so it's very questionable where Blade ends up sometimes. But The Last Angel of History is also a documentary that's fully on YouTube. So if you can't make it to the double feature, I highly recommend just taking the 40 to 45 minutes out of your life and just giving it a watch, because it is a very well done documentary that is also very interestingly paced. It's not like a typical documentary, much like these films aren't typical films.
It's not a typical documentary like Millennia. Okay, so, I went for the joke, Ty, and now I lost my question. Tell us about, on February 2nd, you've got Space is the Place from 1974. That sounds kind of cool.
Yes, February 14th, actually, Valentine's Day is when we have Space is the Place. And that is a fictional movie about Sun Ra, the musician, and his tale of coming down from space and wanting to free people from the chains of colonization and capitalism. And so he says, everybody come in my spaceship and we'll get out of this place. And from there, it's just a mad spiral on Earth of people who believe him, don't believe him. But it all ties together with his very interesting music, which is, the center of his Afrofuturistic theology, is that if I can make sounds that don't sound of this Earth, then maybe we can imagine a place different from Earth.
That is fantastic. My guest is Ty Williams. He's one of the programmers at Milwaukee Film. And we are talking about some of the programs they're offering and some of the films they're offering this month, which is when we celebrate Black History Month. How does Blade hold up, Ty? I saw it so long ago, and I think I was pretty jaded when I saw it. So I was at that age where I hated everything, but I love Wesley Snipes. How does that movie hold up?
Yeah, so I have a special place for Blade in my heart just because it is a very big piece of representation for me personally. I like a lot of fictional films. I am very nerdy. I like to dream. I like to imagine. And at a very young age, I saw Blade on screen, and I had a thought to myself of whoa, I could be a vampire hunter. This isn't something that's blocked off to me just because it sounds ridiculous. And Wesley Snipes plays it so well that he's one of the most notable vampire hunters ever of all time. And I included it in this lineup just to have sort of an example of what you could call Blade a sci-fi film. I would say so. That doesn't necessarily have to be something that is super artsy or filled with the most amazing themes, but it is something that can connect people and make them feel good and imagine a world where, they can be anything else.
Were you a huge fan of Wesley Snipes after that too? Like, have you seen all of his or most of his films?
Most of them, but not all. I can't say I've gone through the full Wesley Snipes run, but it'll happen eventually.
You know, it's so funny. I wrote a script years ago, and I was so hell bent on having Wesley Snipes as the lead. I tried to get, I tried to get him the film when he was in prison. I think he did like a couple years for tax evasion or something. And I was like trying desperately, and his manager's like, well, you know, I had a good dialogue with the guy, and I'm like, come on, man, he's in prison. He's got time to read it. I got to have Wesley Snipes in this movie. So that's my Wesley Snipes story. Obviously, it never worked out, but Ty Williams is here, folks. We'll have a couple more minutes with Ty when we come back, and we'll find out some of the other really cool films that they'll be showing this month in Milwaukee for Black History Month and just for Milwaukee film in general at their two really cool venues. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. We are coming right back.
That's where it's at. Go to the basement. That's where it's at. Go to the basement. That's where it's at. You better. Don't check your age.
Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Great to have you here on this Monday, the wonderful Groundhog's Day. Phil has seen his shadow, which means we're in for 6 more weeks of this nonsense we call winter. My guest at the moment is Ty Williams. He is one of the programmers at Milwaukee Film, and he is here to tell us tonight and discuss what is happening this month in honor of Black History Month at Milwaukee Film. They have it all kicks off, it sounds like, on February 7th with The Last Angel of History, which will help explain Afrofuturism, which I had not heard that term before today. And then Hello Rain follows that, which just kind of elaborates. They sound like two great films. Ty is here. And Ty, as you mentioned, Afrofuturism is a genre of cinema that blends science fiction, fantasy, and speculative fiction with Black history, culture. And I think that's so cool. So tell us a little bit about, if you would, the venues that Milwaukee Film uses, because they are very special.
Sure, absolutely. So the venue that these films will be playing at is the Oriental Theater, as far as I know. And that is our theater that is almost 100 years old. I believe we're about 3 years off or so, 3 to 5 years off. And it's a very beautiful theater. If you've never seen it, if you're unable to go walk in, I would suggest looking up on Google. But it provides a very, very nice space that's been restored over the years, and also provides opportunities for not just locals, but artists overseas to showcase their work with us at our film festival and year round. So it's a very special place. I love it to death. I wouldn't be here for 6 years if I didn't. So
That's a great answer. So you mentioned you went to UWM. They have a great film school there. Do you have aspirations still? Are you really into programming to the point you don't want to make your own films anymore, or where are you at with that?
I'm kind of writing 2 scripts at the moment. Well, I am writing 2 scripts at the moment. So I still am a filmmaker at heart, but I also very much love the joy of programming and sharing films with people and discussing films and kind of getting to talk to artists that I wouldn't have been able to talk to before, as well as showcase their work and put them on a spotlight and show the community, hey, different types of art are valuable, different types of moving image that you wouldn't necessarily think to try are worth your time.
I mean, for me personally, as a writer, it's always helped me to be around other writers. So I would imagine when you're programming and the people you meet, that must be invigorating and make you want to get back at your keyboard and get at your stories, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every film festival, I feel like a lot of filmmakers around here get a big kick of just like, wow, I gotta get into grind mode. I gotta work on my stuff. So that's another reason I love the film festival so much.
All right. So if someone came up to you, pardon me, and said, you can pick any, let's say, 2 or 3 Black directors or filmmakers that you want to feature or host a symposium on or anything, who are your favorites and who would you pick?
I would say Jordan Peele for sure, as well as Boots Riley. I very much like their approach to filmmaking, editing, pacing, the whole works, the concepts they introduce. As for a third, I feel like I want to say Ava DuVernay, but I don't. Yeah, Ava DuVernay. She's a filmmaker as well. I would very much like to showcase her also because she's made so many different movies that are so different in concept that I feel like it's amazing to see a female director who can, produce so much work of so much quality. And I would love to showcase her work sometime.
Absolutely. My guest is Ty Williams, one of the programmers of Milwaukee Film. We're talking Black History Month and Milwaukee Film's approach to celebrating that. Is there any chance you could ever get Jordan Peele to come to Milwaukee?
Oh, I mean, you'll be the first to know if I get that to happen. I would love that to happen.
Are you kind of in awe of him? Like, I loved Key and Peele. I still, anytime one of their sketches comes up on a reel, it's typically maybe one I haven't even seen before, and I thought I had seen them all. But I'm amazed that this guy that wrote these sketches or co-wrote them with a staff, and we've had a couple of the writers on this show, can go make a movie like Get Out or Nope. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, truly. I also have a big thing for horror films as well. So the fact that he is a prolific horror movie director as well speaks volumes to breaking the mold as far as genres go.
Yeah. We have about a minute and a half left, Ty. Do you have any favorites for the Oscars? What have you seen and what really resonated with you in 2025 when it came to the big screen?
Ooh, that's a good one. I really loved Weapons because, like I said, I'm very into horror.
Yeah.
One Battle After Another was great as well. I saw It Was Just an Accident, and that movie really struck a chord with me. That was one of those movies where ever since I saw it, I haven't been able to stop thinking about that ending scene. So I'd highly recommend that one. It's one of the foreign options. And there's a movie called Sarat, which is about a man searching for his daughter in the desert at a rave and kind of traveling with this rave group through the desert to look for her. And a lot of people have recommended that to me and said, see it in a theater if you can. So I'm very excited to get the chance to see that one when available.
And what was that called again?
Sirat, I believe Sirat. It's got one of those, letters over the A, I believe, or the apostrophes over the A or something like that.
That's awesome. 30 seconds left. Ty, what are you binge watching? Anything you could recommend?
We're binge watching Traitors right now, the show that's kind of like Mafia Werewolf, the Celebrity 4th season one right now. And that's been very, very interesting, very much worth my time. So if you like reality TV, I'd say watch the Traitors.
I don't, but I respect your opinion, so I might actually check that out. Thank you, sir. Have a great month at Milwaukee Film and away from Milwaukee Film, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me again.
You got it. Anytime, Ty. All right, that's Ty Williams. Check out all the great stuff Milwaukee Film does. I didn't even get to ask him about some of the other things or what's coming up at this year's Milwaukee Film Festival, but we will do that another time. We've got news coming up in just about a minute, Conrad.
Yeah, that's true.
You ever bet on the news?
No, I have not.
Oh, we got to figure something out, man. We can make a killing. All right. When we come back in hour number 2, Dan Davies will be here. Our question of the night, folks, is if you had to share a cartoon character or animated character's name, who would it be? I said Bugs. Conrad said, tell me again.
Casper.
Damn it, Casper, yeah. And we'll read some of your texts when we come back, and we're going to have a great time in Act 2. It'll be worth it. We're coming right back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Give up, you got a reason to live. Can't forget
Girls will break their hearts, Local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. New details in the federal search warrant carried out at the Fulton County Elections and Operations Hub last week in Georgia, and a call during that operation. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
Multiple sources familiar with the incident confirmed to ABC News that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, did arrange for agents who conducted last week's search to be a part of a phone call with President Trump. And sources tell us the agents were able to hear the president on speakerphone telling them that they were doing great work in investigating Georgia elections.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announcing every federal agent in Minneapolis will be issued body cameras effective immediately. President Trump says it was her decision. It comes as Democrats are pushing for changes after the agent-involved shooting deaths of 2 Minneapolis residents and have put a hold on a spending package to reopen the government. The House Rules Committee taking up that measure tonight. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is ABC News. A Groundhog Day tradition has signaled that we should keep the winter coats and gear handy for another month and a half. Even though the temperature was hovering around 0 degrees, as usual, the festivities at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania were lively. So when the town leaders brought out Punxsutawney Phil, the country's most famous groundhog, saw his shadow and quickly scurried back inside.
6 more weeks of winter.
New York City's groundhog, Staten Island Chuck, also saw his shadow, so he might be the second most hated rodent in the nation on this February 2nd. Sherry Preston, ABC News. Starting today, if you want to get a close-up look at Rome's iconic Trevi Fountain, it's going to cost you. Tourists will now have to pay more than $2 just to get down the steps. The hope is that the fee will reduce crowd sizes. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
We've all felt left out. And for people who move to this country, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low of 5 to 10 tonight. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. High upper teens to near 20. And highs in the low 20s and partly sunny Wednesday. Temps build through the 20s into the 30s to end the week and looking into the weekend. Currently 23 degrees.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know it.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes pina coladas but hates getting caught in the rain, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, folks. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me. This is a Monday version, which sometimes sounds like Friday because I'm so excited for Mondays because I get to be back on the air and talk about all this fun stuff. Lots going on here on Nite Lite. If you missed the first hour, Ty Williams from Milwaukee Film joined us to talk about their programming for Black History Month. Ty's been on the show before and is a very savvy, knowledgeable film guru because he wants to be a filmmaker himself and also programs films at the very cool organization of Milwaukee Film. So check out their website and you can see all the great films. We didn't even get to some of the films they're showing this month, Conrad. They've got Marty Supreme and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They always show really fun stuff. So if you missed that interview with Ty and you want to hear what's happening in Milwaukee this month, go to civicmedia.us and download the podcast of Hour 1 or just tune in and listen. Great stuff. We also featured our Olympian of the day. We're doing one of those a day leading up to Friday when the Olympics kick off in Italy. Paul Schomer was our choice today. He is an Appleton resident who started off as a wrestler until he lost his father, who was also a wrestler, in a car accident. And then he kind of switched to skiing, cross-country skiing, and then fell in with a coach who eventually got him into the biathlon. So a really cool story, how he ended up on his path. We will be cheering for Paul at the Olympics as they inch ever closer. Coming up this hour, we've got Dan Davies. He is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor and one of the biggest names in Nollywood. Conrad, you remember where Nollywood is a thing?
Africa.
Dan's huge. And he's got what I don't understand is Africa's a huge continent.
Yes.
How does a guy from the Northeast Wisconsin get to be a guy over there? He can't even go to the bathroom in Africa without being mobbed. So, all right, we'll talk to Dan. He'll be here in studio at 6:35. In hour number 3, we have Thomas Campbell, who is a playwright and a professor at UWGB. Teaches a lot of really cool theater courses there. We'll talk to Thomas about some of his work and a really interesting production with a great title they have coming up at UWGB. We'll do that in hour number 3. Right now, Conrad, I think it's important that we immediately reintroduce our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Questions.
This is a good one. Brace yourselves, folks. What cartoon character, if you had to have a cartoon character's name, which cartoon character would you want to share that name with? I said Bugs. I don't want the full Bugs Bunny, even though I love Bugs Bunny. Conrad said
Casper.
Did Chris Casper say Casper? That's what we're waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting for his
A
text.
little offended he's not listening right now. And I will talk trash
He's
to him.
probably watching Casper the Friendly Ghost right now.
He probably is at the in the knock down there in Madison. But this is in honor of Linus Roach's birthday. Linus Roach was an actor on Law & Order. He's been in the Batman films, a really good actor. And he shares the name with Linus, which, that's a really unique name. My guess would be that he was named after Linus, the Peanuts character, but I don't know that for sure, and I didn't do my research. So who knows? But I said Bugs, because I think Bugs is it can give people the impression that you're dirty, that you don't wash, and you have fleas, but I choose to identify it as a really cool gangster type thing. Like Bugs Moran, Bugsy Siegel. So I went with Bugs.
Or you just really like Bugs?
I don't like Bugs, which is weird because that's how much I like the name. I can't stand Bugs. I hate Bugs, but I like the name Bugs. Bugs Schwaba. That doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Casper Krieger.
Of course, you'd have to do Casper with a. Is Casper? No, Casper's with a C.
Yeah,
the ghost.
I would have to do it with a K.
With a K. You're right. So let us know. You can text us at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Let us know what cartoon name you wouldn't mind attaching to your person. You can also text us on the app, or if you're watching the radio on YouTube, Facebook, or X, drop us a stream comment and give us a like or a follow while you're there, if you're so inclined. We will read your text on the radio. Always more fun when you guys participate in the show. So I have to come clean here. I think I just made radio history again.
Okay.
So I have this great pair of slacks, pants. They're also known as pants. My dad calls them slacks or trousers. My dad still uses the word trousers.
That's a really cool word.
Do you think it is?
Yeah.
I think it's
every time I go in a store and I'm looking for them, I'm like, where's the trouser section, please?
You don't say that. Hi, could you direct me to your trousers? I'm time traveling from 1924. But yeah, they're all kinds of different things. But my pants, I love this pair of pants I have. They're one of my favorites. They're the most comfortable. The zipper broke on the way to the restroom, to the little radio host's room. I'm doing the show, folks, with my flies open. That's radio history right there, folks.
Well, I won't come out to that side of the room.
Don't stay in your room, buddy. It's a little, now I got to walk to the garage too. A, it's cold outside. And B, I don't want to be arrested. You ever have your zipper open? That's like the worst thing ever. It happens to me, I'd say once every 3 or 4 years. I'm like, oh my God. And you're like, who saw me? There's no way you can explain oh, sorry. I just, you either look like a total spaz or it's like a pervert or something.
I don't know. It's like a weekly thing for me now.
Well, as long as you don't do it on purpose. Hello, ladies. No, I don't. It is a little discernible. Luckily, in my coat, I don't have my longer coat, so I'm going to have to like carry my duffel bag in front of myself. Not that anyone's ever going to notice that. I got dark slacks on, dark trousers, but it's a little
Pantaloons.
weird. Pantaloons. I do feel like I'm in a different space right now. It's a little strange. Kind of like I'm at a nude beach in a weird way. So I got that going for me. And then I want to say, over the weekend, Rob Brackenridge and Mike Merrifield were on this show a couple weeks ago promoting this football fundraiser I do every year up in Marinette at the Little River Country Club. Marinette finally had a great year in football last year. They were like 9-2 or something like that. It was insane.
There you go.
Yeah, with a big turnaround. Congrats to Coach Nate Anderson.
What's their mascot?
The Marine.
Oh, that's cool.
An anchor? I don't know.
Do they get an anchor on the
not a
helmet?
U.S. Marine, like USMC, hoorah, Semper Fi. This is like, they're the Marines.
Yeah, like, I could, yeah, so they have like an anchor on their helmet?
I don't know. I didn't go there. My wife went there. We're both transplants. She went there.
You never went to a football game?
I did, because my daughter was in the band. My son begged me to play football. I did not let him, because he was a good student.
Oh.
I didn't want him to, get a concussion or whatever.
My parents let me play. But I wasn't a good student.
Listen, if he was like a solid C student like his old man, I would have let him play. It's so weird. I stuck with basketball. That was the sport I was probably the worst at of the main three that my high school, Marinette Catholic Central, now St. Thomas Aquinas, offered. They didn't offer soccer. I don't even think they had a track team when I was there. And I was, okay at football, okay at baseball. I wasn't that great at basketball. I couldn't dribble. I could jump and I could shoot. But I'm 6 feet tall. That's not going to get you much PT.
Yeah, I played like everything in high school pretty much.
But you liked basketball too. That's kind of how you and I bonded.
Basketball is my favorite sport.
Me too. To play.
I played basketball and to watch. I watched a lot of basketball, and I played basketball, football, soccer for 1 year, soccer, baseball, and I played tennis for a short period of time.
See, we didn't have tennis. We didn't have soccer. Like, I probably would have enjoyed playing soccer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on my radar. I didn't care about soccer when I was in high school. But if I was exposed to it, maybe I would. But I loved playing basketball. Like, I didn't care that I didn't get in the games. I just loved scrimmaging and running all day. It was just awesome.
In soccer, I did it. I played it, and I don't know. I wasn't good at it, but I just kept taking notes on the book for games.
For soccer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kept track of.
Would you get
stuff.
some like tuition knocked off for that or something? Or public high school, Kewaskum High?
No, yeah, it just, yeah.
Right.
Senior year things.
But these guys, Rob Brackenridge crushed. He went last. Mike Merrifield, who was on the show, he went up and destroyed as well. So it was such a fun night. It was great to see people out there, and a great night of comedy. Two really funny guys. If you get a chance, folks, to see Rob Brackenridge or Mike Merrifield, they're two guys based in Appleton. And Rob lived in L.A. for like 23 years. Mike has always lived in Appleton, but he works Vegas. He travels all over the place. And I'm kind of floored by the fact that he's just been able to never leave there and still become the comic he's become. That's incredible. So two really good dudes. And a tip of my hat to them for making the drive up to Marinette. All right. So last week, as we talked about on the show, Catherine O'Hara passed away. Very tragic. Maybe not tragic, but really unfortunate. She was 71. She wasn't a young woman, but she wasn't really old. By today's standards, that's not that old. And it was a tragic thing. And we had a technical difficulty last week when we tried to play this clip. This is my favorite Catherine O'Hara clip. This is from Waiting for Guffman, Christopher Guest's masterpiece about community theater. Eugene Levy and his wife are dining with Fred Willard and Catherine O'Hara, who make maybe the funniest movie couple ever. Catherine O'Hara, as I said last week, has had too much to drink. Nobody plays a better drunk or played a better drunk than Catherine O'Hara. And here is the audio from my favorite Catherine O'Hara scene.
This is true. You know, in China, they'll kill a monkey at the table and split its head open, eat the brains right out of it.
We had friends, Barbara and Bruce, remember, who went to China, and I'm sure you're in the travel business, that you've been there, but they went to Peking, where they make the ducks, And what they say is that the food over there is not as good. You can't get a sauce as thick and sweet over there. They don't make it like that.
Yeah,
Their food is like
they didn't have a
steamed
good
or
time.
something.
And they should have called you.
That's
because
right.
they
Yeah.
need to. Oh, yeah.
We got some good packages.
That's
Incidentally,
right.
if you two
Yeah.
ever want to get down to Miami Beach, we got a great package, a week, 2 weeks.
Oh,
All expense, yeah.
You get everything you need. Any
Yeah.
kind of food in Blaine. You get Chinese here, and no need
We're
to
talking
go.
about Miami now, dear.
Yeah, we'd
I'm just
love
saying-
to go. We'd love to.
That's, we
Is
got
it
a great
direct?
package, a week, 2 weeks.
Like there
Stop
are
there.
Chinese people in Miami.
Well, we should. You know, we've stopped.
What do I have to do? Of course, there are Chinese people in
We're
Miami.
talking about China.
Well, I'm talking about going to Miami. That's the only
Miami.
thing.
We're talking about Miami.
Dear, why don't you put some food on your stomach before you have any wine?
What's it? Girl talk.
What's it like to be with a circumcised man?
That is interesting.
I'd ask you more about that, but Ron said the whole Jew thing's. Because when Ron had his surgery.
All right.
When Ron had his surgery, I said, hey, circumcise it while you're at it. Just because I've never been with anyone else. Ron's the only man I've been with.
What surgery did he have?
Nothing. I don't know minor corrective surgery.
Oh,
Can we have
really?
some coffee at this table, please?
It's not minor anymore.
Well, maybe, we should change the subject.
It's.
I had what most guys would dream of. I had to have a penis reduction surgery.
I'm sorry?
Penis reduction, which there aren't many. You're going to say I never heard of that because there haven't been many cases.
I said, Ron, do something. And he said, why don't you get one of those vagina
Oh,
enlargements?
dear, can we have some coffee over here?
The great Catherine O'Hara. Just outstanding stuff. We're going to do a very short break here, folks. And when we come back, I'm going to read your text. And I don't know, should we talk about Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Or
that'd be
do
great.
the this thing I found that says great things happening in February? I will figure it out, folks. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. Come on back.
I wish every day the sun would shine. Take me to another place in my life where everything is beautiful. And no wants and needs, no sun and breeze can rule our soul.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Big deals. Love is in the air, and so are the savings at Green Bay Big Deals. Score 30% off gift certificates from great local partners. Crown and Common, the Lion's Mouth Bookstore, the Iron Duck Restaurant. Plus, stay tuned to WGBW all month long for big deals of the day every Friday that you won't want to miss. Go to WGBW.FM right now. Click the Big Deals banner and fall head over heels this February with Green Bay Big Deals.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Civic Media.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you.
We are jamming through a Monday night here, folks. Wherever you're joining us from across the state, it is great to have you at Nite Lite here. I am Pete Schwaba, and it is February. I wish I had better news, Conrad, but it's February.
It is. It is.
The good news is we can read some text. Our question of the night is, if you had to share a name with a cartoon character, which cartoon character would you pick? There's so many great ones. I said Bugs, half of Bugs Bunny. Conrad said Casper with a K, obviously.
Yep.
And Dave on the stream said Bugs Bunny. Paula Krieger. Yes, there is a relation. Conrad's mom says Velma from Scooby-Doo. Then I can solve mysteries. I don't know if your mom can actually solve mysteries just because she has the same,
Well,
name.
if you lose your glasses, then you're kind of screwed too, Mom.
Velma, that's right. And then we've got J.B. Thompson, the guy behind the guy. Conrad.
Behind the guy.
There you go. I was waiting. Let's get after some Nite Lite, one of the best shows in Wisconsin. Well, thank you, JB. Very nice of you to say. And we've got to get JB back on the show one of these days. He was a fine guest and a mover and a shaker here in Northeast Wisconsin. Barb from Waukesha, pardon me, in the 262 says, hello and happy Groundhog Day. I like Lucy Van Pelt, Charlie Brown's love interest. She is tough, smart, and witty. She was way ahead of her time. She was great, Barb. Lucy, did Charlie Brown, he was gullible and he did dumb things around her, but did he pine for her? I don't remember that. But I'll take your word for it. I just learned something. Monica from Mount Horeb in the 608 says, I don't know if I like the name, but it seems the most fitting because I'm a klutz. Accident-prone Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Yes, February made me shiver, but you forgot Fat Tuesday, which can be fun if you're not too frozen to make an effort. I forgot about Fat Tuesday. All right, so you do have Fat Tuesday and Ash Wednesday. So there you go. So there's another sort of holiday here in February. Makes it a little bit better. Jim from Madison in the 608 says, Jimmy the Groundhog said early spring. Jimmy the Groundhog. Is that Jimmy from Madison or Jimmy from, I can't think of a town in Wisconsin that starts with J.
Sun Prairie.
Huh?
Sun Prairie's Jimmy the Groundhog.
Oh, they do that?
Yeah.
They should at least name him like Steve or something. Steve from Sun Prairie, like Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense either because there's the P sound and then the F sound. Thank you, Jim from Madison. I'm losing my mind. Al in the 262. Oh, we already read Al's. Steve, Conrad's dad from the 920 says Tasmanian Devil would be my animated character name. Also, remember, Conrad, if you change your name to Casper, the friendly ghost, you will be expected to spell your name with a K for Casper. We are, for once, a step ahead of you, Steve. We got it covered. And Conrad, we're heading over to the courthouse tomorrow. He's going to change his name, but he will use K. Chris from Sun Prairie, home of
Jimmy.
Steve. Jimmy the Groundhog. And the 773 says Monkey D. Luffy because... Huh?
Sorry, Monkey D. Luffy.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Phonetically, that doesn't work for me. But okay. Thank you, Chris. Monkey D. Luffy. Because I want to be king of the pirates someday, I would probably just go by Luffy. But then people might call you Luffy, Chris. So I don't know. I think you got it under control, though. Jewel from the 920 says Snagglepuss. That's a great one.
Flintstones, right?
No, Snagglepuss was, was it?
Or is it Jetsons?
Not Land of the Lost. No. I don't, do a Google.
I'll do a Google search.
I thought I knew who Snagglepuss was. Monica, again, from Mount Horeb. Well, Pervert Pete or Pete the Perv. What? I hope you are aware, because I said my fly is open. I got no zipper. Monica, this is not like me walking around hoping people see me. This is, I legitimately lost a zipper on a very old pair of trousers. But Monica isn't having it. She says, well, Pervert Pete or Pete the Perv, I hope you are wearing drawers. Also an old word for underwear. I like to use the word drawers rather than underwear, panties, black, etc. My favorite personal is underpants. because it sounds so like 70s when I was growing up.
I think I'm gonna go fully just pantaloons on everything.
I was not going commando today. Thank God. Who would go commando when in this kind of weather? That's insane.
Yeah.
And if I had to do that, I have to go to the closet here and get something from costume or wardrobe. Oh, we got a phone call?
Yeah,
Who
Ollie
do we
from the
have?
Northwoods.
Hey, Ollie from the Northwoods. How are you, Ollie?
Hi, I'm doing good. My favorite character isn't necessarily a cartoon. It's Darla from The Little Rascals.
Oh, that's a great one. That counts. They're very animated.
Yes. And my husband, when he was alive, he was called Wimpy by his brothers because he ate so many hamburgers when they worked together in Chicago area. That's all he ever ate was hamburgers.
Wimpy, of course, from Popeye, who, you're right, ate hamburgers by the boatload. Great character.
That was him.
That was so great. Ollie, thank
when
you.
I fixed hamburgers at home, he used to eat 4 of them. Can you imagine that?
You had to keep them coming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Ollie. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
All right. I was working the road doing stand-up with Jimmy Pardo once, who's been on the show, and I got 3 McDonald's hamburgers. So I got on my tray 3 open burgers, and he looked at him and he goes, "What are you, wimpy?" So that was my wimpy reference. We've got, let's see. Oh, Dan Davies is coming up next after the news, folks. We're going to get an update on a project he is part of that is very cool. It's a 50-year-old film, and it's a cult classic. You're not going to want to miss this. That's coming up next. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There's nowhere to turn. More than that, you know there's nothing more than that. Tell me one thing more than that. There's nothing.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. New details in the federal search warrant carried out at the Fulton County Elections and Operations Hub last week in Georgia, and a call during that operation. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
Multiple sources familiar with the incident confirmed to ABC News that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, did arrange for agents who conducted last week's search to be a part of a phone call with President Trump. And sources tell us the agents were able to hear the president on speakerphone telling them that they were doing great work in investigating Georgia elections.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announcing every federal agent in Minneapolis will be issued body cameras effective immediately. President Trump says it was her decision. It comes as Democrats are pushing for changes after the agent-involved shooting deaths of 2 Minneapolis residents and have put a hold on a spending package to reopen the government. The House Rules Committee taking up that measure tonight. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is ABC News.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low of 5 to 10 tonight. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. High upper teens to near 20. And highs in the low 20s and partly sunny Wednesday. Temps build through the 20s into the 30s to end the week and looking into the weekend. Currently 21 degrees.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals. So I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at it.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. It is great to have you here, folks. Let's do a couple. We're almost caught up, Con, so I'm going to read these before we bring Dan in. Janet from Madison in the 608 says, it's not she is quoting our clip of Catherine O'Hara from Waiting for Government. It's not minor anymore after he had the corrective surgery, the penis reduction. She says, what a gem she was. Her humor will live on with so many classic performances. Could not agree more, Janet. Excellent text. Tony the Trucker, also in the 608, says, Pete, Yosemite. I think he means Yosemite Sam. I've been told I can be a little cantankerous at times, only because they had it coming. Of course they did, Tony. And you could pull your both guns and shoot them in the air like Yosemite Sam did. You're in good company. Great text. Jim from Appleton in the 920 says, a cartoon character I would be named after? Thank you, Steven Spielberg. Freakazoid. You know who that is, Con?
I don't.
Let's go to the Google, or let's ask my next guest. Maybe he knows, but no pressure. Joining me now on Nite Lite is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor who is always fun to have on the show. His credits include Ed Gein the Musical and the Giant Spider Invasion, which he is here to talk about tonight. And we'll also tell you where he's so popular he can't even go to the bathroom without being mobbed. We'll get to all of that with our pal, Dan Davies. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hello, Pete. Hello, Conrad. Hello, everybody out there.
You know, if every guest dressed as nicely as you did, our ratings would be a lot higher. That's all I'm saying.
My grandfather was trained to be a tailor. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so his people, Irish Indian, they basically were generations of... And he didn't become one, but he always wanted to be one and trained as one. And so he said, Danny, he said, if you're going to be out in public, look like you're, going to your
look
to
presentable,
church.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. And have everything tailor-made. So that's kind of what he said.
So this is all tailor-made?
All of it is, yeah.
Dude, that's fantastic. So did you say Irish Indian?
Yeah. So
that's an interesting mix.
So I'm 3/4 Irish and American Indian Seneca of the Iroquois, and I'm Welsh and Scottish as well. So I'm an 8th American Indian.
Look at that. People like you, Dan, really irritate me because I've got Irish, some Scottish, a little bit of, without going into too much detail, as I have in the past. A little bit of German, but I'm like the whitest guy ever. I got like a pinkish hue. There's nothing exotic about my appearance. I would kill to have a little bit of Native Americans, some Hispanics, some blacks, something.
It's I have copper
tan.
color. I have a copper color. So what my grandpa said, if you're out in the sun, don't allow people to call you red. Say that your skin is copper colored. That was important to him. that we weren't called red, red men or
because
whatever.
of Indians.
Because of so I have a natural copper complexion year round, and people are like, "Where do you get that from? Do you have a tanning booth in your house?" I'm like, "No, this is my skin year round. I can't."
I'm just
help it."
curious where you get, like, what the reaction was when people said, "Oh, you're really red," and you said, "No, it's copper."
Yeah.
Did you get pushback on that,
Yeah,
or
I
did people
did.
roll their eyes, or what?
As a matter of fact, you've had one of the guys on, Rex Sykes, made a comment one time, and I love Rex. And we've been friends for years.
I like Rex. I don't love Rex. I'm not going there.
I love him, actually. And he made a comment about my skin tone, and I said, "Oh, hey Rex, I don't want to publicly, shame you, but you can't say red. You have to say it's copper."
Yeah.
Because of my ethnicity, and and it's fine, but it's copper. So
that's the reaction I get, like, because I'm not technically German or Polish. I'm Kashub. The Kashubs are from the Danzig region, and that's all I'll say, because when I elaborate, when people ask and I go, "Do you really want to hear?" They go, "Yes." I get a line or two into that, and then their eyes glaze over, and they're like, "I can't believe I said I wanted to hear this."
How much Irish are you?
Probably over 50, probably somewhere between 50 and 75%.
Yeah, that's what I am.
My mom's Murphy.
Yeah.
My grandma's Griffin. So it's
Yeah.
Well, what's Davies? Is that a state?
Davies is a Welsh name, but I'm very little Welsh. But I'm very Irish.
Great. Yeah, you look. I totally see the Irish.
Thank you.
So, is there a cartoon character you'd prefer to be named after?
If there
come to that,
I'm trying to think of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I like all of those cartoon characters. Bart Simpson. Are you like going old school?
Listen, there are anything you want.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote. The Roadrunner. But yeah,
but you're picking a name, Dan. You got to go by the name.
So would I make up a name for myself?
Sure.
Like, Irish. I'm all potatoes and no meat would be my cartoon character.
That's a mouthful there. Despite never mind, I won't make a joke about that. All right. So it's great to have you here. We've got people. You've got fans on the stream. Kurt Krause, a mutual pal of ours, is tuning in from Joliet, Illinois. Tonight, I'm not sure if I'm liking more so to Jeremy from the comic strip Zits or Bob the Tomato from Veggie Tales. Either one of those are acceptable, Kurt. Conrad, did you find out where Snagglepuss is?
Yeah, Yo Yogi.
Oh, maybe I didn't know I know the name. I know
Snagglepuss. Yeah,
from Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't.
But that was even before my time, because it was reruns when I saw it. But Snagglepuss was great. He'd go exit stage left.
Oh, that's Snagglepuss. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hi,
Clarity.
Kurt and JB.
Clarity,
I see
yes.
Kurt's name there.
JB
I really dig
says-
the jacket.
He says, Kurt says, "I really dig the jacket, Dan. Great look."
Thank you, Kurt.
Kurt's also a pretty slick dresser.
Oh,
When he cleans up. JB says, "I was on prison break there. Hope you are well, Kurt." Oh,
JB
from
led
Joliet.
a prison. Yeah, but JB led a prison break on that TV show.
What?
Yeah, he was on that TV
On the show Prison Break?
Yes, he was. Yeah. So he was on the TV show Prison Break. He's leading like a bum rush out of the prison. Because he told me that.
Seriously?
I said, yeah. And I said, "Are you talking the TV show or real life, JB?"
Yeah.
Because he's done time.
He's done time. Either way, it's street cred in my book, whether you did it on TV or in real life. I want to thank you and JB. You're here in person. You guys came down to the screening in December of The Godfather of Green Bay. It was so awesome seeing you guys there.
It was so much fun.
Truly, truly appreciate it. It was great to have you guys
At
there.
the Atwood.
At the Atwood, or at
Madison.
the Atwood Music Hall. Yes, in Madison.
That was so much fun. So much fun.
So, all right. So, where do we start? The giant spider invasion.
Sure.
What a cool thing. 50 years old, a cult classic, shot here in Wisconsin, released in 1975.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us the background on how you got involved in this.
So, Craig Knitt, our friend, Uncle Craigers, knew him originally and said, "Hey, you guys, you want to talk to Bill Rebane? He's 88, now he's 89 now, but he was 88 at the time. And just to get to know him, because he's seen a film of yours, Ed Gein and West of Thunder and blah, blah, blah. So we got him on the phone and we started talking to him, and he's very engaging and still very with it and very lucid.
He's
for his age.
89 right now?
Excuse me, 89 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And so as we were talking over about a 6-month period, we said, well, let's reboot. Let's remake the Giant Spider Invasion. And then as we were talking, we thought, well, why don't we keep the best 80 minutes of the film and add about 20?
Okay.
Excuse me again. Add about 20 minutes to it. And that's what we did. So Craig Knitt wrote a lot of the fun stuff. Then Bill Rebane was writing again these characters. I play a newscaster from 1975. His name is Ted Titman. So they take this toupee off, and they've got a 1975 comb over toupee, and they look like Harvey Korman.
That's a toupee?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. And I look like Harvey Korman on steroids in the film, but it's very funny, and it adds to the narrative, and it adds to the campiness of the film. And the film was a top 50 box office in 1975.
Yeah.
And people
Same
don't
year
realize
Jaws
that.
came out, right?
Same year Jaws came out, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and that Al Pacino movie, was it Scarface? I think it was.
Oh, yeah, maybe Scarface.
And so it has this cult following. Riff Tracks and Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's their most watched episode ever. So yeah, it was an honor to film with him, and he directed. We went up to Saxon on Lake Superior. Literally where Eskimos live, and igloos, and all kinds of
for
stuff
these for the reboot shoots.
for the
Wow.
reshoots, and it's 4.5 hours literally from here, one way, and it was crazy. And Bill was in good spirits and still 100% there, and it was amazing. And we added a lot to it, and the film now is having this re-release, and it's going to be limited theatrically.
Okay.
We've got like state theaters in the state, Rogers Cinemas in the state. We're talking to the Marcus people. We're going to be at the Schubert's Hartford 10-plex or Cineplex in Hartford, Wisconsin, March 13 and 14 with this new version. And Bill's going to be there. And we've got a 4-foot prop spider from the film. And it's just going to be fun. There'll be meet and greets and photo ops and merchandising and to really meet a living legend in Bill Rebane, who started off in the 1950s.
Yeah.
The first film he worked on was with Cary Grant.
That is incredible.
Isn't that great?
When Bill was on the show, like maybe a year and a half ago, he just told his incredible story. He was an immigrant from somewhere in
Estonia, Latvia, yeah.
And he went to Chicago and did some things there, ended up in northern Wisconsin, which is where he filmed the original, brought Alan Hale, Barbara Hale, and to northern Wisconsin and filmed this cult classic. So you guys have taken, you guys have taken that film with Bill's blessing or his urging and done a reboot and shot new stuff to put in this old film. And my first question, Dan, or the first thought that came to mind is, how tedious was that? Like, you're working with different technology. It's not like Warner Brothers has a film and they have all the materials and deliverables. This is a print. What were you working off?
Yeah, so it was originally shot 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
And we shot it on video. But nowadays, in the post-production process and how you film it, you can make it look like it's 1975 with that patina and that, sepia kind of color to it. So it matches amazing. And we had Aaron Yonda as well from Madison, from Chad Vader, play a really cool character. He plays our cameraman in the film, and Chad Vader is having their 20th anniversary this year. 100 million people have seen that series on YouTube, so it was neat to get Aaron Yonda. We had some really great people, J.B. Thompson and Craig Knitt. We had some just amazing people got together, Eric O'Branson, and did some really fine things with it, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, as you should be. Dan Davies is my guest. He is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor and filmmaker, and he is worked on the reboot of the cult classic that was filmed here in Wisconsin 50 years ago, The Giant Spider Invasion. What still needs to be done, Dan?
So we've got this March 13, 14, and then we're going to be doing events throughout the state, through the state theaters in the southwest part of the state, and then Rogers Cinemas, which is in the middle to northern part of the state. Having these events, it's not just having the screening, it's having Bill Rebane there. It's an opportunity to meet that living legend, to have the prop there, to have the meet and greet, to have the intro, to have those photo ops, to do something different, because theaters are really hurting. And if you can bring an event to a theater, it's going to help it. And we've had some really good showings of the film the last 6 months or so. But this is kind of the premiere of this newest version, March 13 and 14. and then it'll do the limited run, and that's kind of what we're doing. And then DVD release with DVD extras, and it was just an honor. I grew up watching Gilligan's Island, so to see Gilligan,
you're in
Skipper.
a movie with Alan Hale
Skipper.
now.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Dan Davies is here. We're going to take a very short break, and we'll come back and talk more about the giant spider invasion and what country he is one of the most famous people in the world in, or continent, I should say. It's really cool stuff. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
TV dinners and ginger ale. Oh, at the end, I want the little money come and work out well. C'est la vie, say the old folks, goes to show you never can tell. They had a high five for on board, and they let him fly.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Environmental groups across the state, including Clean Wisconsin, are calling for a pause in AI data center projects. The groups issued a joint statement calling on lawmakers to develop a strategic framework that will ensure Wisconsin communities are not harmed by the massive power and water-hungry facilities. That call includes no burning of fossil fuels to power AI data centers and no increases in energy bills. Wisconsin's landfills are filling up with food. That's according to a new study from the DNR. Wasted food and food scraps account for 20% of the trash sent to Wisconsin landfills. That's the largest single category. The agency is working to reduce per capita food waste disposal in landfills by 50% in the next 4 years. Right now on the Defender podcast, new hope that a bipartisan solution for state PFAS funding is at hand and the industry group that could kill it. Listen at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's the month of love, which means some people have weddings on their mind. And if you happen to be in that category, I have just the event for you. It's Amanda with another new Wisco 411. And on February 8th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., you should head to the Buboltz Nature Preserve for the Fox Cities Wedding Show, which, by the way, is free to attend. You can register online in advance, or you can just show up day of and no harm, no foul. So if you need a little help with your wedding day, this is the event to attend. Learn more by going to wgbw.fm and clicking events.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million.
Passengers in time, lost in motion, locked together. Day and night by trick of light. I must take another journey. We must meet with other names.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Our question of the night is, if you had to share a name with a cartoon character, who would it be? We've had some great responses. Please be part of the show, folks. You could text us or message us on the app or on the stream if you're watching the radio on Facebook, YouTube, or X. Great to have you here. Dan Davies is my guest. He is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor. His most recent project that we were just talking about before the break is the giant spider invasion. And it's not a remake, a reboot, you guys are calling it. It's 50 years to the year, date, thereabout, that the original came out from director Bill Rebane. It was filmed in northern Wisconsin with Skipper from Gilligan's Island, also known as Alan Hale, Barbara Hale, no relation, right?
No relation. She was on Perry Mason.
That's right, Perry Mason. And for whatever reason, and that's my next question, Dan, you guys worked on this with the original director, Bill Rebane, who is 89 years old now. Why? Why did he want to do this?
You know, he said, once a filmmaker, always a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he said, he told me this. He said, if I'm not doing the business of show business, I'm not alive.
Yeah.
He literally said that. And so it's really important to him. And I saw that spark in his eye when we met him the first couple of times. He had this passion for it. And I said, we got to, at 89, this could literally be his last hurrah.
Yeah.
So let's honor his legacy. Let's honor him by getting this done and doing a great job with it. And we had Steve Mady, who we're also honoring, who was our DP, who sadly passed about 3 months after we were finished filming. Actually, we were still filming things, and only in his 60s, and just a wonderful guy. So we're doing this to honor people and Steve, and then honor, Bill Rebane's legacy as well.
So all right, now my next question is, what did you do differently? This is not a remake.
Yeah.
You're taking the original, you're adding 20 minutes to it.
Yeah.
So what was what did you add? More horror, more story, more romance?
So there's more of the story, the narrative. So when Bill would watch the film, he'd be like, oh, I wish we could have explained this a little bit better and explained that. As a filmmaker, you always look back,
Right.
Godfather of Green Bay, you probably saw it when we saw it in Madison. You're like, oh, shoot, I wish we would have done this, or that.
Nope. Of course you do, yeah.
So he said, if we could have added to the narrative and the story to get the scientific reasoning why these giant spiders came,
nice.
and why they attacked this small town in northern Wisconsin, and so forth and so on. And so my character is kind of that conduit for that. And there's some comedy too with having Aaron Yonda, and we're actually out on the street. So I'm in a studio. Bill built a studio on the third floor of his home. That looks like a 1975 TV studio, but then we had some man on the street interviews, and it works so hand in glove with the film. It's what a great compliment for me, and I think for Bill as well. I really enjoy the film. I've seen it now a couple of different times.
Have you ever heard of another situation like this where
No.
people took an actual finished film and added to it?
No. I mean, I've seen that within the construct of maybe like a year or two. Like the film is, just in the process of having the first draft. Maybe it's not picture locked, and then they'll add things to it. But I've never, in the history of Hollywood, a director has never directed his reboot of his own film 50 years later. Wow. So yeah, at 89, and so it's really
cool.
kind of cool. It's campy, it's fun, it's funny. And having these events to be able to meet Bill Rebane and meet the filmmaker is going to be fun.
My guest is Dan Davies. He's a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor. We are talking about the reboot of The Giant Spider Invasion, which you can see March 13th and 14th at Schubert's Hartford Theater in good old Hartford, Wisconsin. Let me ask you this, Dan. I don't mean to open up a can of worms here, but, you got the estates of all these old actors. Do you have to pay residuals or do anything like that?
No. A lot of them have passed.
Yeah.
There's only,
That's a relief.
There's only, I think, one or two alive from the film.
Okay.
Now there are kids that were in the film where the giant 40-foot spider is after them and they're running. Those people are still alive because they're in their 50s. But there are two actors that have small supporting roles that are both in their 80s. One I think is 90 that are still alive, but the rest of them have gone to heaven. So.
That's so great. All right. Well, I wish you guys luck. How long did that take all you guys to do?
We did over about a 6-month period, probably 7 or 8 days of filming over that time because we had to juggle a lot of different schedules and there were a lot of moving parts, but we're really excited for it.
Dan Davies is here, folks. We're turning to the stream. We've got JB Thompson on the stream says, would love to meet Veronica Pope. Have you met her yet, Pete?
Have I? She's the Wisconsin Film Office director.
Oh, yeah, sure. Veronica Pope. I knew that sounded familiar.
I sent her an email, but she didn't say anything back. She didn't send anything back. So then I left a voicemail. But I did it like as, I think, Morgan Freeman.
Hello, Veronica. And she still didn't
I'm
get
Morgan
back
Freeman.
to you.
Yeah, I was
Come
like,
on, Veronica. I have not met her yet, JB, but I will be talking to her because I'm part of a project. Hopefully, we can do something with the Wisconsin Film Office. Kurt Krause says, "Congratulations, guys! You have a very good thing going. Ultimately, in theater, you want to give audiences a great experience, and I think you're going to deliver on it with the re-release. I have every confidence they will as well, Kurt." JB Thompson once again says, "I thought we were adding additional footage to The Godfather of Green Bay for our next project. Go for it, buddy. I'll write you a blank check." I would love to know what JB would change or want to add to. That could be interesting. And then Craig Knett says, "Our Giant Spider version already played really, really well in Rhinelander to a respectable audience. The audience loved Dan." I believe that, and I forgot you guys did that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we've had a couple of them, but this is kind of the real kickoff and the real premiere. But thank you, Uncle Craigers and everybody. That I'm glad they loved it. You know, there aren't many films where you can see me completely nude.
Wow. There needs to be more of those. How many more remakes can you do, really? Dan Davies is here. Can we keep you for a few more minutes after
Hells to the end.
All right, we're going to ask Dan. He is a Nollywood phenomenon. We're going to talk about that. If you have questions like I do, we'll find all of that out after the news. Dan Davies is here coming up at 7:20. Thomas Campbell will be here, too, a very renowned playwright and professor at UWGB. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. The news is next on the Civic Media Radio Network.
If it happens in Wisconsin, you'll hear about it on the station with local news and timeless hits. 97.9 FM, WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. The Pima County Sheriff's Office tells ABC News they do not believe Nancy Guthrie went willingly, and her case is now believed to be a possible abduction or kidnapping, saying she was taken in her sleep. Officials confirming today they do indeed have a crime scene in the ongoing search for the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett discusses what questions officials need to consider.
We need to immediately interview the staff that works in the house. Who was the last person who saw her? Did she get telephone calls right before supposedly she disappeared? All of those things you need to know.
Fresh off his mega win at the Grammys. Bad Bunny will once again dominate attention Sunday as this year's Super Bowl halftime performer. The NFL's championship game draws over 100 million viewers worldwide. Notable acts including Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Kendrick Lamar have shaped the show's legacy. This is ABC News. A report from the Wall Street Journal over the weekend reveals a $500 million deal tied the Trump family with a top foreign official.
Just days before Trump's second inauguration, the Journal reports 49%, nearly half of the Trump family crypto company, World Liberty Financial, was purchased for $500 million by Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who heads the United Arab Emirates State Investment Fund and serves as National Security Advisor, sometimes referred to as the Spy Sheikh. The deal confirmed in a statement from World Liberty Financial to ABC News.
ABC's Jay O'Brien. NASA hit a snag as it prepares for the next Artemis mission. The launch team found a leak while fueling its new moon rocket at Kennedy Space Center. The team is working on the problem. 3 Americans and 1 Canadian are supposed to perform a 10-day moonshot this month. The Federal Department of Health and Human Services is devoting $100 million to a pilot program focused on homelessness and substance abuse in 8 cities. Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
Let's talk rechargeable battery safety with tips from the National Fire Protection Association. Only buy products with a safety certification mark. Charge devices on hard surfaces. Don't use off-brand cords and always unplug when fully charged. Charge into fire safety at fpw.org/battery.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low of 5 to 10 tonight. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. High upper teens to near 20. And highs in the low 20s and partly sunny Wednesday. Temps build through the 20s into the 30s to end the week and looking into the weekend. Currently 21 degrees.
When a person calls 988, they're connected to a crisis counselor.
A caller can expect to talk about coping skills. They can chat, they can text, and when they come out on the other side, they're feeling better.
Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Listen, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Let's put ourselves in the right position.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org, brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
My Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But early detection allowed us to take control of the situation together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who does his own stunts, Pete Schwaba.
Hey, welcome back. We are kicking off Act 3 here right now, folks. We've had a lot of fun here tonight over the course of the first 2 hours. If you missed hour number 1, check it out at civicmedia.us. Ty Williams was here. He is one of the programmers of Milwaukee Film, and they have a lot of really cool events to celebrate Black History Month at Milwaukee Film all month long. As you know from the top of the show, February is Black History Month. One of the few good things about February, I think we established, Con.
Yeah, and especially this February where we're getting more
Groundhog Day, Black History Month, Valentine's Day, okay, and the Super Bowl.
It's only 28 days this year.
February blows. Yeah, the shorter the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is the voice of Dan Davies. He is my current guest here in studio. We will be back with Dan in just a moment, but we talked with Dan in the second hour as well. That is also available at civicmedia.us. You can download the podcast there. Our question of the night is, if you had to share a name with a cartoon character like actor Linus Roach does. Linus Roach was in Batman, Law & Order, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say he was named after Linus, the Peanuts character, because you don't just name your name Kid Linus, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
like a Catholic saint.
Linus's?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it was named after that and not a cartoon character. I don't know how deep his parents were. Either way, join the fun, folks. Let us know which cartoon character you'd like to share a name with if you had to. We also talked about Catherine O'Hara a little bit. Groundhog Day, the great movie. We're having a lot of fun here tonight. Coming up at 7:20 here in Act 3 will be Thomas Campbell. He is a playwright and a professor at UWGB. They've got some great stuff going on at UWGB this spring, and Thomas will keep us informed as to what some of those great events are. He'll be along shortly. And right now, let's get back to my pal Dan Davies, who is in the studio here. As I mentioned, he is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor. And Dan, I'm kind of fascinated when, like I always thought when I was a kid, I wanted to be a comedian. So I moved back to where I was born, Chicago, when I started my stand-up career. Then I moved to LA and I came back. You've managed to carve out an acting career from Northeast Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
There was a comedian I had in Marinette this past weekend, Mike Merrifield, who hilariously funny comedian. Yeah. He was there with Rob Brackenridge. They're both great. Yeah. But Rob spent 23 years in L.A. Mike told me he's never left Appleton. No. And he's done it, and he's a national headliner. And so you can do this gig, right? Be it comedy, music, acting, whatever, and not go to the coast.
You bet. It's just going to take you longer.
Yeah. You probably have to work a little harder.
And work a little harder. Yeah. But I always wanted to own the product or have some ownership to it. And if I was going to be a creative, I think you get pigeonholed in Hollywood. You're just an actor. You're not a writer or a director or, or a producer. Now Tom Cruise could do just whatever he wants. But I really wanted to write and produce and act and do all those things. And I was fortunate enough to do it through the independent film scene in the Midwest without having to move. And I just, put my own, money where my mouth was with Ed Gein the Musical, and that kind of shot me into this other strata when it became a cult classic. And I've been able to do this and kind of eke out a living.
Yeah. And that's more important than if you do what you love. I mean, sure, we could have gone into other fields, but I always equate it to like the Fabulous Baker Boys. Remember that movie with Bo and Jeff Bridges? And their whole goal in life was just not to work in an office. Yeah. And they're like, if we can get by, we are living, man. And that's kind of how a lot of people in show business feel.
And that's the thing, too. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
All right, so we talked about the giant spider invasion, folks. This is a movie that came out 50 years ago. Director Bill Rebane shot it in the North Woods of Wisconsin. Dan and some other filmmakers here from Northeast Wisconsin befriended Bill years ago and worked together with him on this. You're not calling it a remake. It's a reboot. You've added 20 minutes. Tell us again where they can see it, Dan.
Yeah, so March 13, 14 at the Hartford Cineplex or Hartford Schubert's Theater in Hartford, Wisconsin. And that's going to be a big event with Bill Rebane there. We're going to have the 4-foot spider, photo ops, Q&As, meet and greets, autographed posters that are originally from 1975. He's got some still. It's pretty crazy stuff. So that's going to be a real fun event. And we're looking at a limited theatrical for it after that with the State Theaters and then Rogers Cinemas and then hopefully Marcus Cinemas as well in the Swick theaters up north as well. So Midwest limited theatrical and just have a lot of fun with it and get people out there. It's a film that put Wisconsin on the cinematic map. Over 50 years ago in 1975.
Came out the same year Jaws came out, finished. It was one of the top 50 highest earning films in 1975. All right, Dan, now we got to get to a topic that I've been waiting to talk to you about for a while. And for whatever reason, it flew under the radar the last couple of times you were here. But I always see your posts about Nollywood.
Yeah.
And how huge you are in Africa.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Tell us what Nollywood is and how did that happen?
So Nollywood's the second largest film market in the world, second only to Bollywood of India. And Nollywood is actually out of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country about 250 million people, and Ghana, which is about 50 million people. West Africa specifically, but it's kind of the unofficial film market of the continent of Africa and the diaspora of West Africans living in like Germany and London and Toronto and Atlanta. It's a massive, massive, massive market. And I did a film that was at the Toronto International Film Festival, and these Nigerian people came up to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this film and we loved your character. Can you play a bad guy?" I said, "Of course I can." And they
Have you met me?
Yeah. And they said, "Can you play a Russian?" I said, "Of course I can." But I couldn't. So I would do my Russian and I'd sound like Yakov Smirnov. So I had them change my character to an Eastern European, a mobster. And that was called Tempting Fate. It did really well in Africa. It opened in LA. And then while it was in Africa, it opened on the IMAX, and these people came up and said, "Now we want you in this film, A Trip to Jamaica," which was shot in Nigeria, Ghana, Atlanta, and Jamaica, with Eric Roberts and myself were the only American actors. And that became the #1 Nollywood film of all time in 2017. Jeez. It got into the Guinness Book of World Record. It's been since broken. But yeah, I'm considered a top 100 Nollywood box office actor of all time. Just some dummy.
And like the top
Northeast
5 or
Wisconsin.
something of people from
in the United States, I'm #1.
Okay.
So I'm #1. Danny Glover's #2. Eric Roberts is #3. Vivica Fox is #4. So
wow,
which is really weird. In Nollywood, everyone, it's absolutely crazy. In Nigeria, millions of people know who I am, which is odd. In America, 7 bartenders and my, my bartender, my therapist know who I am. That's about it.
So what was it like filming over there?
It's really weird because you have bodyguards all the time. When you're even walking the streets, going to the bathroom, we went to a soccer match, and that was very strange to have the bodyguards all the time with AK-47s, the whole works, and it's pretty nuts. But it's neat. I'm doing a film that I just attached a top 10 Nollywood director called A Forest Dark. His name is Robert Peters. He's top 10 of all time. And I had called him. He lives in Atlanta, originally from Lagos, Nigeria. And he's excited about it. So, and I talked to Pete. Pete has a role in it. So, and I'm paying him.
I just got hired, so I'll take it, man. You never know with this business. You gotta pounce. So, how long ago was that? And will you go back over there again to do more movies, or?
So that was 2016, 2017. Okay. Their political climate isn't safe. They've had like 100,000 people murdered in Nigeria. It's a religious war almost, Muslims and Christians, and it's a huge country. 125 million Christians, 125 million Muslims, and it's terrible. And it's been like that for about 6-7 years. So it's very dangerous to be somebody from the West coming over from America or England.
That is crazy. So your films have been seen by over 50 million people theatrically in Africa and Europe, and worldwide on Netflix and Hulu. Because of this number, have you ever thought about like parlaying that and leaving Northeast Wisconsin? Not necessarily to Nigeria, but to another film hub somewhere.
I've worked with other people that are part of different branches that were Jamaica and Ghana, and there was a
Jamaica
Indian
would be sweet.
Yeah, an Indian actor from India who wanted me to do a Bollywood thing, and so there's a little bit of inklings of that stretching out for me to be able to do those things. I do want to get a bunch of films though out. One of them very quickly that Daniel Wheeler is putting together. It was just
Danny
a genius.
Wheels.
Yeah.
Love him.
My Brother in Bigfoot, and it's and I'm super excited for it. I play kind of this a journalist who has his own ideas, but it's very, very funny. It's a mockumentary about a brother who kind of lost his younger brother who went out looking for Bigfoot, and it's funny and it's warm and it's touching. So I'm very excited about that. And obviously Giant Spider Invasion and A Forest Dark and Dearmageddon the musical. So I'm very fortunate with all these projects.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. Let's talk about real quick. If people have not heard of or seen Ed Gein the musical, you made a film about Ed Gein. It's been, you've been quoted, and they've taken snippets from it in national publications. It's primarily because of the Netflix series.
Yeah.
But Ryan Murphy. When did your fixation with Ed Gein start, and where can people see that film?
So I'm from that area. So my grandfather knew Ed Gein.
Wow.
And he worked for the DNR, Washoe County, knew Ed Gein, knew his my grandfather's best friend was the arresting sheriff in 1957 of Ed Gein. So I grew up just, 10 miles from Plainfield, hearing all these stories from day one, all these horror stories. So I was always fascinated. So I thought, I was drinking with a buddy in Wapaka, and he said, wouldn't it be cool to do a documentary on Ed Gein? I said, no, because I was drunk. I said, wouldn't it be fun to do a musical, a comedic musical? And he looked at me like I had three heads, and I knew I was onto something.
Yeah.
And that's when I created it. And it's been a cult classic, and the Netflix people stole some of our stuff from our films. So, yeah. So I'm not supposed to talk about that because our music director might want to sue them.
2 words, pal. Lawsuit.
Yeah.
I know it's 1 word. Dan Davies, this has been fun. We've got some more text. Kurt Kraus says, enjoying the show. I want to grab a coffee with both of you at the Door County Film Festival, if not before. Door County Film Festival, by the way, February 13th, 14th, and 15th in beautiful Door County. Kurt is very active in that. I will be there giving a speech on night 1, or night 2, actually. Maybe night 1. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. So if you haven't been to a film festival, check it out, and especially the Door County Film Festival. Danny Wheel says Nollywood, and JB Thompson says Daniel Needs to Leave is showing at the Door County Film Festival. So no shortage of great films. Dan Davies, thank you as always, pal.
Thank you. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Conrad. It is always a pleasure. Pete, you're a Northeast Wisconsin gem, and I absolutely love you. So thank you for everything.
You don't have to sweet talk me. You've already been on the show. He's going to slap me in the face on his way out. All right, we're coming right back, folks. Thomas Campbell will be here to talk about UWGB and their theater program, and he is also a very successful playwright. We will talk to him about his work. That is coming up next on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee, with over 700 cigars to choose from, in a walk-in humidor with unique house-blended pipe tobacco, as well as the classic pipe flavors for a bit of nostalgia. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Sturgeon Spirits of Oshkosh. Next door to their cocktail bar and tasting room on Oregon Street is the Ready Room, open for your next event. A private bar with aviation-inspired detail. It's ideal for intimate parties, conferences, or special occasion parties and reunions. Sturgeon Spirits, 2663 Oregon Street in Oshkosh, and at grocery and liquor stores throughout the Fox Valley. Wherever you go, buy local, drink local, and take a piece of Oshkosh with you. SturgeonSpirits.com.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
I'm Angela Bassett. For 33 million Americans, one bite can cause a life-threatening reaction. Now, there's a needle-free option for epinephrine. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready-to-act.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy.
Lift me above the old routine.
Conrad playing his favorite musical artist. We haven't heard from her. Did I tell you not to play her for a while? Is that why she went away?
No, I think you said something about it, so I got self-conscious.
Well, that was enough time went by. It was nice to hear Carole King again. All right, so folks, you still have time to get in on the fun. Our question of the night is, if you had to share a name with a cartoon character like actor Linus Roach does, although Dan Davies just told me that could be related to Catholicism somehow. Saint Linus or Pope Linus or something like that.
I think that's more...
In my limited, simple brain, I assumed he was named after Linus from Charlie Brown. But let us know. We've had some great answers. I said Bugs, half of Bugs Bunny, because I like gangsters named Bugs. Bugs Schwaba, I think that could go. Conrad said Casper, but with a K. And let us know what you think. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can also text us on the app, or if you're watching the radio on Facebook, YouTube, or X, drop us a stream comment. Right now, it is my pleasure to welcome our next guest. He is the chair of the theater and dance at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay and also an accomplished playwright, and he joins us here in studio tonight, Mr. Thomas Campbell. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, dude. Did you go by Thomas or Tom?
Tom, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought normally I would think that someone goes by Tom, but, you're a playwright. You're very distinguished. You've got all these crazy degrees in your field, and Thomas sounds a little more distinguished. But
it does sound distinguished, but I'm also incredibly awkward and insecure,
Well,
and so
right
I gotta humanize myself and bring it down to Tom.
That's great. I love it. Do you have if you had to share a name with a cartoon character, can you think of one that sticks out?
You just mentioned that, and I've always thought Shaggy was kind of a cool name.
Oh yes. That's our first Shaggy. We got Velma and what was the other one? The other girl, Daphne.
Yeah.
Velma was the one with the glasses.
Yeah, she couldn't see without him.
She couldn't see without him. All right, that's great. Before we jump in to some of your upcoming work, and you got a lot going on, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you ended up here in Green Bay.
Oh gosh, how I ended up here in Green Bay. Well, I started doing theater when I was young. I think I was in my first show when I was like 6. It was like a community show of Peter Pan, and I was a lost boy, and really started to get into it in high school, like I think a lot of kids do. And I was lucky enough to go to a high school that had a really advanced theater program. It was right on the cusp of being like a performing arts high school. It was
nice.
It was a really strong high school theater program. And started off in performance and choir and show choirs and musicals and doing all that. And then my senior year of high school, I started to turn my attention to writing, and the theater teacher there at the time encouraged me to pursue that, and eventually went to the University of Wyoming, got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in playwriting and directing.
Wow.
And
this is from where? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Denver.
Oh, Denver.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
so I went from Denver up to Laramie, Wyoming, got my degree there, and eventually went on to my master's program at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale.
Wow.
And then I went back to Denver for a couple years and tried to do the professional playwriting thing. And I started teaching in grad school.
Okay.
And I really loved it. And so I wanted to go back. I wanted to teach at the university level. And so eventually I went back to Carbondale, got my PhD. I got it in dramaturgical studies, performance studies with an emphasis in dramaturgy. And that got me a job at UW Sheboygan, and I was the director of the theater program there. And then in 2018, the UW colleges merged with the regional comprehensives, and that linked me up to Green Bay. And so it's just been sort of this sort of jump from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and now I'm in Green Bay.
So how long have you lived in Wisconsin?
2013.
So you're one of us now.
I
13
get there.
years ish.
I feel like I'm getting there. I'm always going to be Colorado. It's in my heart. It's in my blood. But
Colorado's a great place to be from. I will say, I got a pain in my stomach when you said University of Wyoming. I was a stand-up comic in the 90s. I used to tour all over, and I went to Denver. It was a club I worked called Wits End. A guy named John Cooney. He was great, and the club was great. And then they tacked a college gig on, and I went and did a college gig at the University of Wyoming. in the gymnasium.
Oh.
It's not a stage.
Oh,
they had a
yeah.
spotlight and they had a podium and the mic was attached. I couldn't take the mic and walk around. I literally did 45 minutes of material not being able to see anybody because the gym was dark and the spotlight. It was maybe one of the worst gigs I've ever had.
Hey, man, atmosphere
I'm not
matters.
holding you responsible. I'm
no,
just saying.
Atmosphere matters. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
for
the,
sure.
like, gosh, that space is, as a performer, like the space you are
It's
engaging
everything.
in is so critical to what it is that you're doing.
Lighting, the space, all
Yeah.
of it. Do you
Yeah.
have a good space? We're going to break for the news in about a minute. When we come back, we'll tell you about a great play that's going to happen at UWGB. It's coming up. But how is the space there in terms of atmosphere?
We have great spaces.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to be doing this one in the Gene Widener space, which is our smaller, flexible space.
Okay.
It's actually in the Widener,
Nice.
which is it's a fantastic facility. Yeah.
That's excellent. All right. My guest is Thomas Campbell. He is a playwright and the chair of theater and dance at the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, a great school right here in our own backyard. I heard it was like the fastest growing school of all the UW schools. Does that sound right?
I think I believe we are the only UW school to have seen enrollment increases
Growth,
for 10
yeah.
years.
Wow, that's incredible. And you can take some of the credit for
I,
that, right?
you know,
All right, we are going to come back after the news and talk with Thomas some more about writing and really cool stuff happening at UWGB. Kurt Krause on the stream says 2013 is one of us. All right, so that's from an official. He's even more Wisconsin than me.
Excellent.
And if you're accepted by Kurt, you're accepted by everybody. And Conrad. We're coming right back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
To Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. The Pima County Sheriff's Office tells ABC News they do not believe Nancy Guthrie went willingly, and her case is now believed to be a possible abduction or kidnapping, saying she was taken in her sleep. Officials confirming today they do indeed have a crime scene in the ongoing search for the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett discusses what questions officials need to consider.
We need to immediately interview the staff that works in the house. Who was the last person who saw her? Did she get telephone calls right before supposedly she disappeared? All of those things you need to know.
Fresh off his mega win at the Grammys. Bad Bunny will once again dominate attention Sunday as this year's Super Bowl halftime performer. The NFL's championship game draws over 100 million viewers worldwide. Notable acts including Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Kendrick Lamar have shaped the show's legacy. This is ABC News.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low of 5 to 10 tonight. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. High upper teens to near 20. And highs in the low 20s and partly sunny Wednesday. Temps build through the 20s into the 30s to end the week and looking into the weekend. Currently, it's 19 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
We've all felt left out. And for people who move to this country, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Great to have you with me. Janet from Madison, folks, in response to our question, says, well, I'm already honored to share a name of a cartoon character, Interplanet Janet from Schoolhouse Rock. That's a great show, by the way, Thomas.
Yeah.
And Conrad, sorry. If you had to pick it, it would be that 70s rocker Josie and the Pussycats. That's a great one, too. John Murray in Madison says, okay, guys, just lost a bet to my better half. I felt positive that no one would pick Shaggy. Okay. Bravo, my good sir. Thank you, Thomas Campbell. John says, personally, I'm keen to Captain. No Army biz attached, just Captain. Okay. I'm not going to argue with John Murray. And then he expands and says, Caveman, Underpants, America, Crunch. Lots of captains. Yeah, a lot of military royalty out there. And John says, no kits. Good God. I don't know what that means. John will explain it. He never leaves us hanging. All right. Back to the show here, folks. My guest is Thomas Campbell. He is the chair of theater and dance at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay and an accomplished playwright as well. He comes to us from Colorado by way of Wyoming, by way of Southern Illinois, and he joins us here tonight in the studio. A proud Wisconsinite since 2013. Yes. He is definitely one of us now. All right, so you got a big show coming up, Thomas.
Yeah.
Tell us about Dr. I don't want to get it wrong. Dr. Bellboy and the Energy Vampire?
Dr. Bellboy and the Energy Vampire. Yeah, it's a new musical that I wrote the book and the lyrics on.
Nice.
And the composer is Benjamin Olenichek, who is has his own music studio, is a local musician, and has been our vocal music director on the past couple of musicals that we've done. Just a great guy, really accomplished musical theorist, and his knowledge of musical theater is just vast. So we've been working on it for about a year. It's definitely in its infancy.
Okay.
And so what we're doing over at the university is a workshop production. And so we have sort of our initial draft of the play and the script, and the initial draft of the musical score, and the beginnings of the orchestration. And we cast it, and we're working through some of the nuances and ironing out some of our mistakes, both with the script and with the music. And so it gives us an opportunity to show our students the process of developing a new musical and all of the heavy lifting that goes with that.
So when you do that, you call it a workshop. Will it be performed school-wide? Will everybody be able to see it?
So the performance dates are February 20th and 21st, and it is open to the public. It's free. It's in our Gene Widener Theater, so their seating is limited. But one of the critical things for Ben and I in this process is to get audience feedback. You know, and so we're going to be holding some talkbacks after each of the performances to see what works, what resonated with audience, what needs some tweaking. And, you know, of course, we're going to be probably watching the audience more than we are watching the performance at that point in time.
Right.
So, you know, we'll be able to see where they connect, where they laugh, where they disconnect, all of that good stuff.
So it's like a focus group, kind of.
A little
test
bit,
market.
yeah.
Okay.
It's our first opportunity to actually get this thing that we've been living with for a year in front of some other people. And, you know, theater's a collaborative art. It needs audiences to really thrive and to resonate. And in order to do that, we need to see in this experimentation phase what's working.
So what happens then? Let's say it goes swimmingly and you're thrilled. What do you do then?
We go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
To be honest,
really?
we go back. We're already talking about. We're in the process where we don't want to make too many changes because we don't want to create a domino effect right now, and so we're sort of marking things in the script.
Okay.
That once the workshop production is over, what is the next phase? Where are the more substantive changes that we need to make? Maybe we eliminate an entire song, or a scene needs to be completely rewritten. How is that going to affect the composition of the score, or the lyrical changes that might need to be shifted? And so we're already looking at what comes next after this component is finished. So when I say we go back to the drawing board, we go back and we really do a deep dive in what
not
works.
just tweaking, but like
it's not
really,
just tweaking. It's really going back, and it's going to be a heavy revision.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell us about the story, Dr. Bellboy and the Energy Vampire.
Yeah.
Love the title. It conjures up what it might be about to me, but
Good.
Tell us.
Good. Yeah. No, I think a title should be evocative. And so our story is about a university professor who abandons his previous life, and he goes to New York City and becomes a bell attendant at a hotel. Kind of has throws his hands up at the university world, and just wants something mundane. He wants to be left alone. He's dealing with some trauma and some loss, and he just kind of disconnects from society, his life, and just wants something to just keep his head down and go through it. But the hotel that he is working at is actually haunted. And so he has some ghostly compatriots from Harpo Marx, Dorothy Parker, and George S. Kaufman.
Wow.
And so they have sort of their like shenanigans, and then they realize one of the thing is this malevolent energy vampire has infested the hotel, and so they have to battle this fantastical energy vampire.
So what is it about hotels and theaters that ghosts just feel at home there? Apparently, there's a lot of haunted theaters.
Yeah, so I was doing. I had sort of this idea of sort of Dr. Bellboy rolling around in my head for a while, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And then I was reading an article about the Algonquin Hotel in New York City, which was home of the Algonquin Round Table,
right, and famously haunted, right? Yeah,
famously haunted, considered one of the famous, one of the most haunted hotels in New York City, and saw that some of the spiritual sightings are Dorothy Parker and Harpo Marx and George S. Kaufman, and I was kind of like, that is a trio. That is a heck of a trio.
Exactly.
And so what if our Dr. Bellboy was in this hotel? What sort of what kind of shenanigans would they get into? What would that look like? And then I was developing the story, and it kind of hit me one day. I said, oh shoot, I think this is a musical, and I've never done a musical before.
I was going to ask you about that because I didn't see that.
This is my first musical. I've done all kinds of different genres and styles of different plays.
So you wrote the play. This is not a licensed. Okay.
Yeah,
wow,
I wrote the play and conceptualized the story. Wrote the lyrics and the play component, and Ben is composing and doing the music.
That's outstanding. Dr. Bellboy and the Energy Vampire, written by my guest, Thomas Campbell, can be seen February 20th and 21st for free at the, you called it the Widener Extension?
It's the Gene Widener Theater in the Widener on the UWGB campus. Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. So who are your, first I want to ask you about this because I was reading about you, and it said your research as a playwright, focuses on depictions, portrayals of alcohol abuse, dependency on the American stage, and how plays can subvert stigmas and stereotypes associated with alcoholism. It's a two-part question. What is it that you or who are your writing influences?
Okay.
Did you grow up reading these guys like Eugene O'Neill, who used alcohol, or Hemingway or Dylan Thomas?
Yeah. So the first time where I was really impacted by a play was reading Tennessee Williams' Glass Menagerie.
Okay.
And I think the narrative style of that, the mix of narrative reflection with live action scenes just really captivated me. And I was a senior in high school, and so I did a report on Tennessee Williams, and you know, his battles with addiction were pretty prevalent throughout his life. And as I went through my schooling, you know, it's sort of this pattern where playwrights, writers,
in general,
artists,
right,
and addiction, it's pretty prevalent. And whether that is by choice or not, I can't think of anybody who chooses to live a life of addiction, and
unless they're trying to like pose in a way.
You
or
know, I do think that there's something romantic about this idea of being a tortured artist.
Yeah.
And I know in my youth, I definitely sort of reveled in that you know, party hard, play hard, write hard mentality. And as I got into my PhD program, I started to realize that theater can do more with that. It's not just about, you know, depictions of the drunkard as comedic relief. It's not just about, you know, the violent alcoholic. There's you know, substance abuse is a serious issue. It's a detrimental medical condition that affects everybody. And I think anybody that you talk to can point to at least one or two people that they know that has been either suffering or has been impacted by AOD issues. So it's pretty prevalent, and I know that theater can be cathartic. And it can talk about those issues in ways that aren't that allow people a cathartic experience to purge it, and it becomes that subversive act of therapy in a certain way.
Do you have a favorite playwright or an influence, someone you looked up to or wanted to emulate?
Oh, I mean, when I was younger, it was definitely those modernists. It was the Tennessee Williams, the Eugene O'Neills. As I got older, I really started to fall in love with the more avant-garde, edgier ones. For a while, it was David Mamet, and then I just started to discover like Paula Vogel, and, you know, Susan Laurie Parks, and these language-based playwrights that were just being so creative and so artistic with their use of language, and sort of like kicking down the door of expectations and creating things that were really artistically captivating.
It's interesting, like that you mentioned David Mamet. I have a funny David Mamet. I have his old car.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
It was a Toyota Land Cruiser that we bought in LA from his nanny was getting rid of it. And I was like, and it was a great deal. And I was like, it's David Mamet. This is going to rub off on me as a writer. It didn't. And now we're trying to unload it. It's kind of it's getting old. Anyway, he is a guy who also has written for the big screen as well. I think done his own adaptations, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have any aspirations of that? Do you hope to write movies, or are you firmly entrenched in plays?
I really feel secure in my identity as a playwright.
Yeah,
I've sort of dipped my toe in screenwriting, and it doesn't intrigue me the way that playwriting. And I think playwriting, the liveness, the working with other people to actually be in a physical space and see it actualized, and the fact that it's different from night to night. There's just something really vibrant and exciting about that form for me.
Are there like, you have your benchmarks in screenwriting? Get to the first plot point by page 25 or so, and then third act should start 80, 90, whatever. Do you have those same benchmarks in playwriting, or is it more free form?
I think there's probably a little bit more flexibility. I mean, there's definitely formulas to playwriting structures, but I think, especially with musicals, they become a little bit more formulaic. But theater is a little bit more artistic. You get to play with form and
Yeah.
formula in different ways.
And the audiences seem like they're more open to
Oh,
it. They're
totally.
not like movies, you know what to expect. Whereas a play, you
Yeah.
could find something really cool that's not as formulaic. All right. Thomas Campbell is my guest. We are going to do a quick break, and then we'll be back to wrap things up and enjoy a few more minutes with our guest, Thomas Campbell from UWGB. He is the chair of the theater and dance. And is it the department? Am I saying the right? Chair of theater
It's
and
a
dance?
program, yeah.
The program.
of
Okay.
theater and dance.
And he's a playwright, so we're jamming. We're coming right back. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton, improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit wiinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here. Learn more at youbelonghere.media.
Civic Media.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman.
All right, welcome back. Hey, tomorrow night on Nite Lite, folks, from Sturgeon Spirits, our pal Carl Lowenstein will be here, producer director of A Road at Night, which premieres next week in Madison. John Roach will be here. That is a fantastic film about Howard Moore, the former UW basketballer and coach. Coming up on Wednesday from Wisconsin Foodie, Arthur Ursink will be here. My pal Steve Seagren and Sherry Shepard will be here Wednesday night. That'll be fun. Hudson Hensley, I think, from Song Sung Blue. We're solidifying that for Thursday. We're going to talk ice cream with Cedar Crest, all kinds of fun stuff going on here at Nite Lite this week. But right now we have a few more minutes with my current guest, Mr. Thomas Campbell. He is the chair of the Theater and Dance Department at UWGB and an accomplished playwright himself. You've got, here's what you teach at UWGB, Thomas. Playwriting, script analysis, dramaturgy, intro to theater, world theater, and performance. Of all those classes, what gets you out of bed the fastest in the morning where you can't wait to start talking about it?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say it was playwriting. That really is the of all the hats that I wear, you know, that's my identity marker. Yeah. But I really enjoy all the classes that I teach, and I know that some days are better than others. And,
sure.
You know, some days I have a really good script analysis class, and some days I have a really good directing class, and some days it's, you know, I swing and a miss on all the days sometimes. So, you know, but I think as long as the students are engaged and they enjoy being in the rooms, then I know I'm making a difference.
It's a great answer. What is the climate right now? It seems like there's a shift in America for a lot of reasons, but like people, you know, the pandemic affected people going to the theater.
Yeah.
Netflix might buy Warner Brothers. They won't, ideally, or not ideally, but suspiciously might not put as many films in theaters. Yeah. So that landscape is changing a little. I think there will always be a market for it. Where is theater? Where are we at with theater in America right now? It's such a great art form, and it's definitely got a place in cities like Chicago and New York and LA, and lesser in LA, but like Milwaukee. But what's the climate like? As a playwright, do you say theater's thriving in America? It needs a comeback, or where are we at?
I think from my perspective, I think we're at kind of a critical moment.
Okay.
Theater programs at the higher education level are under threat right now. They're being cut nationally. Largely for financial reasons. Theater programs are in general expensive and low enrolled, and in the current higher education environment, that is potentially detrimental to a lot of theater programs. Theater programs being eliminated at the higher ed level has a ripple effect. You know, we are upriver of the professional industries.
Right.
We are also the incentive for K through 12 people studying theater to go and major in theater. And if you don't have that opportunity, then students are going to stop doing it in the K through 12. So it's potentially really hazardous. I will say at the same time, theater is innate to who we are as human beings.
Sure.
You know, we are innate storytellers. We are innate communal gatherers.
Yeah.
And you combine community and community gathering with storytelling, you get theater. And so I don't think theater is ever going to go away, but I think people in positions of authority need to make a choice to invest in that as a discipline. And they need to recognize it as a discipline that's worthy of deep study. It's not just entertainment. It's not just the show, the fancy, you know, musical that entertains us. It's something deeper, and it's something much more powerful. And people in positions of power and authority need to recognize that, and they need to invest in it, knowing that it's worth it without a financial return.
I agree. And if you're listening and you haven't really embraced theater or going to a live show, whether it's a musical or a drama, something original or a big show like Hamilton, you got to go, folks, and you got to support live theater because there's nothing like it. It is truly everything Thomas just said. Kurt Krause on the stream says, Thomas Campbell and Pete Schwaba both have great hair going on. Thomas, give my very best to Alan K. Oh, Alan.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Kurt knows Alan. That's awesome.
Everybody knows Alan.
Everybody knows Alan. He's been on the show. He'll be back again. He's a great guy. All right, so we've got. I have to ask you. I ask almost everybody who's on the show. Are you binge watching anything? I know theater's your first love, but when you put the typewriter away at night, what are you binging?
So I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. So a lot of what I watch is geared around them. On a good day,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, on a good day, we watch a lot of Bluey, which
Bluey's
I think
outstanding.
is a great show. Personally, if I can carve out a little bit of time, I'm trying to finish watching Stranger Things.
Okay.
So those I have Bluey on one hand and Stranger Things on the other.
Two very different shows.
Very.
We had Stuart Waddles, who does news here in Southeast Wisconsin for Civic Media, and he came on the show one night, and he was talking incessantly about Bluey.
Oh,
and he sent me a couple links, and I made the joke, is it too weird that I want to divorce my wife and find another wife so I can have kids again so I can watch Bluey with them? That might be extreme.
I have
but it's that good a show.
Cried so consistently at a cartoon, a kid's cartoon. It's
that good.
It's really powerful.
Hey, best of luck with Dr. Bellboy.
Thank you.
Is it Vampire Energy? I've already
Dr. Bellboy and the Energy
Vampire.
Yeah.
February 20th and 21st for free on the UWGB campus at the Widener Center.
Gene Weiner Theater.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Thomas Campbell, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete. Really
thank you to Dan Davies and Ty Williams. Thank you for all your calls and texts, folks. Just phenomenal fun tonight. And on behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Just move right up the wall. Till night, skies are light.